far in between of men sort of being okay with not being the macho, and there's not like there's a lot of glory to be the nice guy, soft, and to be in your soft boy era as they call it, for sure. But again, uh, there's a lot to be done. I still feel like there is this whole mentality which is about like making it like putting men and women in these very specific gendered roles. The male is a provider, he's the alpha, he's supposed to be a certain way, he's not supposed to cry, he's not supposed to feel any pain, and the woman is either supposed to be, placed on a pedestal or supposed to be the vamp. And these are very clear, neat boxes that exist. And I'm like, no, but life is not like that. My father maybe grew up, with a certain mindset, but he's also quite soft and sensitive. But does this not affect behavior in general? For sure. And as an artist, I feel the only way I can shake it up is, yeah, sure, if you have an alpha representation of a man, can I do that as well and be like, hey, because like I would get a script sometimes which says, oh, this is a strong woman, and I'm like, but I don't know any woman who's not strong. And strength doesn't come only in one shape or size or form, it comes in many different ways. So, do we need more male representation, which is not the quote unquote convention? Definitely.
I would like to add that actually it's not the paucity of the male narrative or male characters that is a problem. It is the nuancing of them that needs addressing. I actually don't mind having lots of male narratives. If the problem is perhaps that it just like kills nuance for the female voice or the female narrative. The female characters are generally just poised to sort of create heroism for the women, to like look very weak around these men, and so essentially there is something that needs to be like sort of rewired at the level of creating itself, and that change cannot be enacted at the level of commerce or at the stage when you're already pitching the story. It needs to be done at the level of thinking itself, at the level of structuring the story, etc. So I feel a larger nuance can only come from deepening the way that we look at the world, and that's somewhere a beauty that sort of is, that comes to the creators. Me and in my head, I feel it's a stronger responsibility that the men have than the women actually.
I mean, last year, this friend of mine posted it some time ago. I said last year, 22 out of the 23 big films of the year had a man with a weapon on the poster. That's kind of telling of the pop culture world that we sort of like live in right now. There is a sense of like the macho hero is back, and there is, you're living in that world right now, and there is a certain amount. So even when you end up making something more nuanced, something more feminist, or something where the male character is being is touching into a gentler side, they become morality tales with a hammer. And I think the tricky part is always being able to say how do you bring nuance to a society that is not used to it. I think that especially when you're making it for a much larger audience, that's always the battle that filmmakers and producers and investors are facing. The fact that you always know that this is meant for a much bigger audience, and so therefore you can't be subtle about it. And the moment is that. So it's tricky. It's in that place where right now it's tricky to be able to say how do you end up. You'll find people like that in a lot of series, in a lot of stuff that's online or OTT or movies and that stuff. But if you're talking about like pure pop culture in the cinemas, in the movies, the kind of like if you want to go blockbuster level, you won't find it right. And that's a process that one needs to bring in to be able to start seeding that in. How, when, it's tricky. I think Shah Rukh Khan is the only person who's been able to sort of, even though he's become an action hero right now, there's still a certain amount of gentleness that he brings into it. But he's the only one, really. Like nobody else is doing that. Even Ranbir Kapoor.
I think I would say that actually 2 months before this, I would be feeling very